All right, I'm back, people, again. This is part three now, okay? Um, I think the Wi-Fi was acting up, so I switched to my main phone, and we're going to do it this way. We ain't going to use the Wi-Fi. We're going to go straight from the satellite. What I was saying is a lot of y'all ask me questions, but y'all focused on the wrong crap, Um, Nobody asked me today. Y'all asked me who made the definition and all of that. Nobody asked what the book name was. A citation comes from a source, and usually it's a book, something that's been published. Okay, not no random website. It could be a website, but not necessarily a random. You got to be careful with websites. But I got books for y'all. I ain't saying nothing that ain't never been wrote in a book. And Dr. Claude Anderson got 10 of these books, I think. Google his website. He got a whole website. I think he be running specials on the books, Powernomics and the ways of secrets and white folks and the ways of white folks and black wealth, white power, and all of that. It's a few of them. It's a few books that he's been talking about this topic for 50 years. Okay, so when the definition I gave to you is an old definition, it ain't brand new. It ain't nothing new that just got made up. It been around. It been published. He ain't the only one. He's one of the best. He's one of my favorites. But sometimes y'all got to learn how to go to the source. You got to buy some books. You can't Google something. A lot of y'all, I tell y'all a book. Y'all go look at it on Amazon. Don't never buy it. Buy the damn book. It's $10, $20. Just buy it. Because even if you don't read it, maybe your kids can read it. These kids got to do book reports and history and lessons and stuff. And if you already got the book in the house, they can use that book. One thing about my grandmother has always been an avid reader. Avid. Her damn bedroom looked like a library. Looked like she sleep in a library. So I always came up with the thing of buying books. I mean, a lot of my books get stolen over the years. Some of y'all come to my house and steal the damn books. But we are destroyed people for lack of knowledge. That's why we are destroyed, for lack of knowledge. So how do we fix it? Or y'all are always asking, well, what's the solution? What's the solution? Because I don't hear the solution. I hear a lot of problems. And we getting stuck on the problems, okay? Because that's a feminine thinking. They can't get from A to B. They stuck on that line in the middle. Always on the problem and the symptoms of the problem. Masculine thinking is always, okay, that's the problem. Let's get to the solution. Okay? So the solution is if we are destroyed for lack of knowledge, what do we have to do? It's common sense. Reverse that. Start getting knowledge. That's what we're in applying it and being about that. That's the solution. We don't suffer from lack of motivation, for lack of religion. We don't suffer for that. Obviously, we got a lot of money we got access to. We don't have as much as other groups of people, but we have, because we're number one in the world in consumers. So obviously we're consuming a lot of shit and we spending a lot of money that way. It's how we apply that. But we don't know nothing else but to be consumers because we don't have the knowledge of what economics is, what politics are. We don't understand politics. We don't understand how it works. We don't understand the games that's being played. That's why we think voting blue or voting red is the answer. They're two sides of the same coin. The scriptures tell us that y'all don't understand the Bible. The scriptures tell us that a house divided will not stand. Last time I checked, the house still stands. The White House is still standing. The House is still standing. The Senate is standing. SCOTUS, all this whole American Inc. is still standing. So they're not against each other. They are working together. I was listening to Cornel West earlier today, and he kind of hinted on that. And he's on national television, so he ain't going to say but so much. I would love to talk to him personally one-on-one because I know the brother got some stuff to say. But what he said earlier, Yeah, he said something I didn't agree on. He says, yeah, no, we can't look at Biden as the solution. We got to look at him as the best choice for right now because we got to get Trump out of here. Okay, because things are so horrible in the last year for in the last few years for black people. We got to get him out of here. That's what they're trying to convince us of. All right. But I asked the question, what really changed from the Barack years to now? What changed? What's so different? What did Trump do that's so different? But that's another question. But okay, Trump's a fascist. He's an authoritarian. He's the worst president ever. We heard this game be played on us before. All we got to do is go back to George Bush. It was the same thing they were saying about George Bush, right? Now, a lot of us were killed that had them Bush years back. We were killed to go back to that time, right? So this is a game that the Dems like to play on us every few years, especially when there's a Republican in office. It's the same game the Republicans play. Oh, it was so horrible under Barack. Well, most of these Republicans made a lot of money under Barack, just like the Dems are making a lot of money under Trump. They are making record profits. Do not be fooled because they're corporate Dems. All of these corporations are having record profits. That's why I believe they don't want Trump to get out of office. They want 4 more years of Trump so they can keep that money rolling in. Look how much money Biden and Kamala raised right after she got nominated. Look how much money she raised. Where do you think that money came from? That was corporate money. That wasn't grassroots. That wasn't individuals like Bernie was raising and Elizabeth was raising. That was corporate money flowing in. Why did they? Why? Why would the corporations want to support Biden and Kamala? Why? Because they're going to look out for the corporate interests. That's who. The people ain't voting for Biden and Kamala. We saw that during the primaries. Those were 2 of the lowest vote getters during the primaries for most demographics. So who is supporting them? Corporate America. Why is that? Because that's where their interests lie. Pay attention. Understand how this game is played. That's why they don't have any legislation. Biden has put up 1 piece of legislation this entire election season. And that was to pump more money into the criminal justice system. That's his legislation. So why did it surprise y'all he picked Kamala? I've been saying it the whole time because she goes along with that ideology. What was her job? Locking black people up. That's what she did. And that's what he's done. He authored the crime bill. And she's been enforcing it. Hello, they were a perfect match. Pay attention, people. So these 2 people who want to support the criminal justice system, we have a problem with the criminal justice system. So he runs out and goes get somebody who's been working for the criminal justice system. Hello. And she don't have no problem with it. She worked with it. It wasn't like she worked with it but was trying to reform it. She was all for it. Locking parents up for truancy and locking people up for low-lying offenses like weed, small amounts of weed. She was throwing the book at people. But y'all that's what y'all want, right? So I'm so proud of the NBA players right now. Now, I've been hearing conflicting stories that they're canceling the season. They're not canceling the season. They aren't. LeBron supposedly has been going back and forth all night, last night. I don't know what the real truth is yet. I'm going to wait. Hopefully, I think it's a good thing. Stephen A. said a good thing about it. Shannon said a good thing about it. Cal Hurd said a good thing about it. So I hope they do that because sometimes moments come along. And like Muhammad Ali, he used the Vietnam War to take a stand. So he didn't have no control over that. He gave up his career. He gave up his lifestyle. He gave up his championship, his money. And that's what these NBA players are doing as a group. And that's what I've been saying, which is what the NFL players should have did behind Kaepernick. They should have took a stand behind Kaepernick. No, but they bunch of punk ass niggas that stood up there and just let Kyle Kaepernick get strung up and hung. They let him get lynched while they watched for their own personal gain. That's how I don't have no love for the NFL. But the NBA players, they taking a stand. Teams, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the rest of them eventually gonna follow suit. They're taking a stand. We got enough money. It ain't about the money. We're gonna take a stand because you ain't gonna get another moment like this to make this kind of an impact. Because they know if they take a stand and they fuck up them white people money, they're gonna put pressure. Cause see, that's how politics works. They're gonna put pressure on their corporate sponsors and their homeboys. That's how you make it. You gotta stand, you gotta gather yourselves together. So that's what I'm seeing with the NBA. So I'm proud to see that. And LeBron is leading the way. I'm proud to see that. LeBron is bigger than basketball, like a lot of his predecessors. And I'm not talking about Jordan because Jordan was never bigger than basketball. Jordan was his basketball and himself. That's all he's ever been. So he let his own teammates get hung out to dry. That was Craig Hodges. He said, fuck Craig Hodges. I don't give a fuck, and just strung him out there. That was Michael Jordan, y'all beloved Michael Jordan that y'all call the GOAT. Okay? But LeBron is more Muhammad Ali. He's more Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He's more Magic Johnson. He's more Jim Brown. He's more Muhammad. He's more George Foreman. See, you got a lot of these athletes who use their position to be political activists, to be social activists, to fight for their people. Michael Jordan was never one of those people and never will be. That's why he's sitting over there on Lake Norman with the white girl now. He showed you what he's about. For those of you who don't like LeBron, okay, he's big. His legacy is going to be bigger than basketball, just like Kareem. Kareem is bigger than basketball. The Olympic athletes from the 60s, all of those guys. That's what we've always been. We've always stood by our people. Fuck the money. They got enough money to live on for the rest of their lives already. Some of these guys got $100 million in the bank. And if they don't, that's their fault. You done earned $100 million in your life and you ain't got nothing to show for it, that's your fault. That's your fault. You know you're a black man in America. You should have been saving your money. You should have been saving it. Nah, we got to have mansions. Nah, let me hit the lottery. Let me look. I don't need no $20 million house. I get $100 million out the lottery. I ain't getting no $20 million house. Next to some white folks that don't like me. Crazy. To get the end of the video, and that's a couple of things I have wanted to touch on from earlier that I didn't touch on. So as usual, y'all got questions, comments, keep them coming. I check the comments. I go back and do check those occasionally. DM me. Call me if you got my number. I mean, my number's on my Facebook page. A lot of y'all can access that. If you're one of my friends, call me. I posted my Google Voice number one time so I could take live calls. Maybe I'll do that on my next video. I'll post it again. I don't even know what the hell it is off the top of my head. But somebody want to go live with me, I'll bring you on with me. We could do this live, I ain't against talking to no brother or sister, but let's have an intelligent conversation. Don't get on here with me with a bunch of opinions, your feelings. Come at me with some factual information with citations, okay? Because that's how I come at y'all. I'm not talking when it's my thoughts and my thoughts alone, I share them. And I let you know that's what they are. But if I coming at you with facts, I'm pointing you towards the citation. I'm giving you historical reference, Oh, they will play tomorrow. I saw it when you just called me too, by the way. I was making this video, obviously, but I was going to call you back when I get off of here. Okay, so now they're playing tomorrow. They done went back and forth about 3 times today. So I wish they wouldn't play tomorrow. I wish they would just cancel the season, but because that's one of the biggest impacts that we can make right now, especially since basketball is the only sport on TV. So I hope they don't do that. If obviously somebody got to them and threw some money around and promised them something, obviously that's what happened if they're gonna play because LeBron was pissed. But anyway, that's all I got. It's starting to get dark out here, obviously, and I ain't turning on no light. And I'll holler at y'all probably not tomorrow, but maybe Saturday or Sunday. Like and share. Follow me.